Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about an interesting topic. And today we are talking about the power of healing through writing. The power of healing through writing. My special guest is Mellissa Thomas, who goes by Mellissa T. And I call her one of my podcast cousins. I actually met her at PodFest in Orlando in January. So I am super excited and delighted to have her joining me this evening. But before I bring her on, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Let us know in the comments. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And your comments, your questions are welcome. I need you to tag a friend, all your writer friends, all your friends that want to be authors, tag them, let them know they need to be on here. This is going to be a great conversation. I see a few of you have joined us already. Miss Brittany, who is in Tallahassee, thank you for being here. And Brother Quasi, who is in the ATL, thank you for joining us, Brother Quasi. So I know there'll be others joining us momentarily, but I am going to go ahead and share Mellissa T's bio. She is a Jamaican born, self published author. Not one, not two, not three, but 9 times author. Okay. She's a U.S. Navy veteran. She teaches women who've navigated a trauma or major transition on how to use their experiences to heal through creating a transformational book. And she is a copy editor, speaker, poet, award winning indie screenwriter, and she loves and specializes in all things words. She also is the chief editor for a Central Florida independent news outlet, growing the team growing the team of 3 contributors to 33 in 9 years. She was also that. Wow. And so with this rich storytelling and publishing experience, Mellissa T is here to show you that writing a book is more accessible than you think. And she has a new book coming out entitled Pain to Prose Playbook: Write Through the Pain, Reclaim Your Voice, and Become the Author of Your Own Healing. Y'all, help me welcome Miss Mellissa T.
Good evening. Good evening. How you doing, Nicole?
Oh, well, oh, well. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. My pleasure. So tell the people, who is Mellissa T? Not what you do, but who are you in your own words?
Yes, in my own words, I am a honeybee. That is literally what my name means. That's what Melissa means. And my entire purpose on this planet is to help other people blossom. In my specific case, I help people blossom in the world of writing, in the world of authorship. So I help people push through the sort of things that delay them from getting published. You know, the most common things I hear are it's too complicated, it takes too long, it's expensive. Who's going to take my story seriously? Do I even have a story? And I simplify the publishing process, the authorship process for people. And specifically women who've navigated a trauma or transition. That's my tribe, because most nonfiction authors usually write from that place. Like, they've been through something and they want to tell their story in a way that will help other people. So I shepherd them through that process. So
Nice.
who am I? I am a honeybee sent to this world to help others blossom.
Come on, honeybee. I love that. I love that. I love that. So just talk a little bit briefly about how you got on this journey of assisting women who want to tell their stories.
Sure. So it started with my own journey. And, for those watching or listening, I'm a person of faith. So I don't know about you, Nicole,
Yes,
but
I am.
absolutely. About that, y'all. Okay, Afro people. Yeah. So in my case, my very first book is this one called
Okay.
Babe, which was a devotional, and it's a 52-week devotional. And I had no tutorial, nothing, Nicole. Like,
Hmm.
assigned me to take all of this rich Bible information that I was learning, because I was attending or still am attending Bible study at a church in Orlando called Grace Bible Church. And at the time, I was a sponge. I was learning so much about the word because that was what my soul needed. I
Hmm.
got out the Navy. This is 2006. And then I got out the Navy in '06. This is 2009 and 10. So rededicated my life to Christ, freshly baptized, and now I'm in Bible study, learning so much stuff. And God was like, okay, that's enough sponging. It's time for you to teach the people. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay.
Okay.
So what's interesting is even though I didn't watch any other um, people teaching how to create books,
Mm-hmm.
system, because since it was going to be a 52-week devotional, he had me choose 52 individual scriptures. He started with the scriptures first.
Oh, wow.
Then, since he knew I was a poet, and he had shown me, I don't know if you're familiar with the Daily Bread or Daily Bread, those devotionals.
I am.
There's always a brief poem in some of them. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, you're already a poet, so you use your original poetry at the end of each devotional passage.
Nice.
So I was like, bet. So scriptures first, original poetry second.
Okay.
Once I had all of those, then devotional text explaining what the scriptures were saying, right?
Nice.
And since God is a God of order, he already knew this, but the scriptures even had a pattern to them. So I was able to cluster the different scriptures based on the categories and topics that were discussed.
Okay.
So the devotional has multiple sections. So for instance, there's a section on the 7 deadly sins, which each week, it's 7 weeks.
Okay.
Each week is a scripture speaking to each specific deadly sin.
Gotcha.
And I had a section about spiritual warfare. I had a section about preparing for spiritual warfare.
Okay.
I have a section towards the end that leads people to Christ if they're interested, like an entire sort of epilogue where I walk people through, the road to salvation.
Nice.
So even though I was doing this organically, God still gave me a system. Now for, what I do now with the work that I do now, I've had the help of a mastermind. I'm part of
Okay.
Hip Hop Preachers UOU Mastermind, and I've had the privilege of being around a community of like-minded people, no ulterior motives, people of faith as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to help me make sense of what I already knew about publishing.
Gotcha.
To create a framework, and mine is called the F5 framework.
Okay.
Which is what I teach in my author activation weekend. The F5 framework is going to be in the Pain to Prose playbook.
Okay.
And it's something that is repeatable. You can use it in fiction or nonfiction.
Nice.
It applies to both genres.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was through the mastermind that one of my coaches gave me the idea. Since you're trying to help authors get their books done
Uh-huh.
to the people that urgently need to get their books done. And that's usually people who have navigated a trauma or transition. So they get
Mm.
the story out. And in my case, since I'm a woman, I figured I would lean into the ladies
Okay. All right.
since I speak the language, right? So that's
That
how
makes
that's
sense. Okay, nice, 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 nice. So I want to get into the five F
the F5 framework.
F5 in just a little bit, but we have several folks that have joined us. I want to give them a shout out. One of which is my mom down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. All right. Our other podcast cousin Anthony is on, Mr. About That Wallet himself. Talking about, hey, Afro people.
Yeah.
LOL at the blanks. And shout out to the masterminds. Everyone should be in one. Agreed, agreed. I have not yet, but I do want to find one that I can be in. My friend Ozzy, who's a clinician in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thank you for being here, Ozzy. My sister Shayla is on down in Miami. Thank you for being here. We got Miss Sophia on in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm so glad you caught us. And Letitia in Tallahassee said she's ready for this because I think Letitia wants to write. So this is the perfect show. Perfect show. Oh, and we got Miss Allie on as well, who is also in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us, Allie. So let's get into this topic, which is, hold on, the power of healing through writing. Now, you and I talked a little bit, and I was talking about being a writer versus being an author. So I think that
Yes.
would be a good place for us to start. Tell us, what is the difference between the two?
Absolutely. So not all writers are authors, and not all authors are writers. And
Okay.
this tends to be a sticking point for some people. It's a point that some people use to not bother being an author. Well, it's like, well, I don't like writing, or I'm not good at writing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you don't have to be. That's okay. Um,
Okay.
some of the biggest New York Times bestsellers are not writers at all. Like,
Mhm.
the cheat code for becoming an author now is actually voice recording,
Mm,
because it's your own voice still. And
mhm.
even with ghostwriters, because some people hire ghostwriters to do the job for them,
Mhm.
asterisk, that is pricey. Nothing wrong with it, but
Mhm.
just to let you know, it is pricey. You're talking five figures,
Mm.
but it employs the exact same thing. You would be interviewing the ghostwriter, and the ghostwriter would be recording your conversations so
Mm.
that they hear your voice and can study it, know your mannerisms, know your go-to words, your go-to phrases.
Mhm.
So in the new world of writing, like with the technology, you record your own voice.
Okay.
Record, yep, record the memories and stories that are the most relevant based on what your book is going to be about, the transformation that you want your book to provide for your readers.
Mhm.
And it's your own voice. It takes far less time, and you don't have to worry about grammar in
Mm.
terms of typing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you have people like me for. Like, I'm a professional editor, so I would be the one to clean that stuff up for you.
Gotcha.
But not all writers are authors, meaning there are plenty of bloggers out there, right? We've seen that. There are plenty of journalists.
Yeah.
There are plenty of reporters. There are
Mhm.
plenty of columnists.
Yes.
Not all of them are authors. Some are, but
Yeah.
not all of them are authors. Not all of them want to be, and that's okay.
Mhm. True.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that definition. And Anthony said plenty of podcasters. Yes,
Facts.
definitely witnessed that in January. That there are lots of podcasters growing every day. All right, and so let's talk about. Well, one of the other things we didn't mention was your podcast, which
Yes.
is getting
Getting the win.
yeah, the Getting the Win show. And so you broadcast on Wednesdays at 6?
Yes, ma'am. 6 p.m. Eastern. Yep.
6 p.m. Eastern. All right, on YouTube. So definitely check her out. I actually watched for the first time tonight. I had subscribed back in January, but I had not watched it. And so, yeah, just kind of an open discussion about writing and some of the things that you have going on. Speaking of some of the things that you have going on, you mentioned this just a little bit ago, but you had recently your author activation weekend. So talk a little bit about that.
Sure. The Author Activation Weekend is a 4-day writing intensive where all the things I teach on YouTube for free, we condense it into a weekend experience where
Mm.
you're getting in the room and it is an author sprint. Like you're writing, you are voice recording, like the words are going on the page.
Mhm.
And we create a curated experience for our attendees, particularly the ones who choose the VIP option. And all of the attendees this weekend were VIPs. So
Mhm.
they got a curated swag bag with books, by the way. Like it's an author event
Mhm.
and authors sponsored copies of their books to these guys. So, you know, they got copies of their book, they got a shirt. Let me lift this up
Okay.
so you can see the logo.
Yes.
So they got, you know, a high quality shirt, they got pens just to
Mm.
hold that up. And it's one of them, like everybody I've given the pen to, they're like, this is nice. Um, but I put a directive on the pen, which is write and heal, then
Oh.
heal others.
Oh, I like that. Hold on, I gotta pause. I gotta write that down. Write and heal, then
Mhm.
heal others. I like
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Write and heal, then heal others.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Which is that is the entire purpose of the Author Activation Weekend. So you learn the F5 framework over the course of the weekend. You use it to develop your book.
Okay.
And then we also, true, you know, shout out to About That Wallet. He said pens are great advertising facts. I've
Mhm.
been handing them out everywhere. Um, you use the framework, and then since the purpose is to finish your rough draft, we didn't want to leave our attendees with just that. So we then give them the next steps. Like, okay, my rough draft's done. Now what? We then have special work sessions, not work sessions, but sessions like seminars, talks that dig into marketing the book.
Mm.
And this year we had a gentleman who is well versed, like firsthand well versed in the process of becoming a New York Times bestseller.
Oh,
So
wow.
he taught us all of what is necessary to become a New York Times bestseller. Girl, let me tell you something. As much as I want that, I'm like, I don't know, fam. Like, I'm like, I
After
might put that
after
off.
what he shared?
I'm like, that won't be for the Pain to Prose playbook. It might be for the next book. It might be
Oh,
for the book after that.
okay.
Because you have to put skin in the game
Right.
to become a New York Times bestseller, meaning financially. It's a heavy lift financially. So I was
Gotcha.
like, all right, as my friend Jessica Holly would say, funds pending. Funds,
Okay, right. Funds pending, yes.
funds pending. But our attendees got to hear all of that.
Mm.
And normally you would have to be in certain masterminds to get that kind of exclusive information. And our folks, they paid, you know, the VIP price
Right.
to hear it, but still, like they got some very important information. And
Nice.
then the other key thing
Mm.
that our attendees got was being able to break free from their trauma by recontextualizing it through
Okay.
emotional intelligence.
Nice.
So my coach, Dr. Eric Thomas, has the extreme execution flight assessment. It's a
Mhm.
behavior style assessment that breaks down the 4 behavior styles. All of us have all 4 in us,
Right.
but we have one that's more dominant
Mm.
than the others in our natural state.
Mhm.
So you get to see what your natural behavior style is. You
Mm.
get a snapshot of your behavior style.
Okay.
But the beauty of seeing the others is that you're then able to take that information, revisit the trauma, and understand, oh, this person might have been this.
Mm.
And since I'm a different behavior style, this is why we clashed.
Mhm.
This is why the trauma happened in the first place.
Mm.
So it helped to remove some of the sting of the trauma
Mhm.
and allows them to look at the experience with a more objective lens.
Got
Instead of, ouch, this happened to me, it's like, oh, I see why this happened.
Mhm.
And now I know how to prevent it in the future because now I know how I behave and I understand how that kind of personality, that kind of behavior style behaves, and what would trigger them versus what triggered me. It
Mhm.
it frees you up to be able to read the room much faster versus simply taking life as it is. You
Wow.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
they were able to get that freedom. There were 2 sessions, in that manner, one that recontextualized the trauma
mm,
using that assessment, and
mhm.
another that using the assessment and the new perspective on the trauma helps you to pivot and harness that information for the book.
Wow.
So our folks were fed,
That
essentially.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful. So, we have some folks that have commented. Kiana, she said, glad to be in the number tonight. Thanks, winner. That's one of my mentees. We call each other winner. Thank you for being here, Key. And Letitia said, grateful to be on tonight. Well, good deal. And Tracy Gole has joined us, who is also in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here, Miss Tracy. So we are talking the power of healing through writing with Miss Mellissa T. And you were just giving us just kind of an overview of your author activation weekend. And so let's go ahead and dive on into this 5F. So
Sure.
just
The
give
F5
us what
framework.
F5. Why I keep wanting to say 5F?
Just think of it in terms of a jet, because that's how, God inspired the name for me, especially as someone who's ex-military. Like, the
Uh,
jets are called F-18, I get it, but like F5 was pretty cool for me. Like, it helped me remember it. So
okay.
it's called that because it's a foundation and 5 pillars.
Okay.
That is a framework for creating any book. So, and it's easily applicable with nonfiction for sure, because the foundation, this is the stuff that is front heavy.
Okay.
And with any book, you want to do this, fiction or nonfiction. In the foundation, you're deciding your book's topic and genre,
Mhm.
your ideal reader,
Okay.
your book's purpose, and your book's title. Like, you want to come up with all of those things on the front end
Okay.
before you do any writing. And at this point, like as of this recording, you can use AI to do all of this, because here's a important distinction I want to share with
Mhm.
your audience. Shout out to Doris. What's up? Um, here's one distinction I want to share with your audience, because Amazon made this a whole thing. There's a difference between AI assisted works, which
Uh-huh.
is fine. Amazon, the other publishers and distributors have no problem with AI assisted.
Mhm.
AI generated content is the problem.
Okay.
And with the advent of AI, there were a lot of people who used AI to create apps or create programs that could write people's books for them. Like, the AI would become the ghostwriter,
Uh,
which, while that saves time, it's
uh-huh.
problematic because most AI use the same language. So it's very easy for us to tell when something is AI written.
Right.
And the other issue with it is that AI was fed the IP of already existing authors without their permission. And
And
it's unfortunate but true. And one lady that spoke up about this is Lovia Ajayi, who is a prolific author. Shout out to her. I love her. She's somebody that makes good trouble. But her books, and she's a New York Times bestselling author, like multiple New York Times bestselling author.
right.
And she made a post on LinkedIn about it. She's like, you know what I mean? It's gotten to the point where, because AI was fed my original books in the first place,
Mhm.
any new content that I produce now, these publishing companies are flagging as AI content, even though I wrote it myself. You
Uh,
see the weirdness about that?
yeah,
Like,
that's very problematic.
it's very problematic. So this is why I talk about the importance of voice recording. So it's in your voice, you're using your idiosyncratic phrases,
Right.
you're telling your stories, because for the folks watching this, if you're a note taker, write this down. There is one thing that AI is not capable of. There's a lot it's been fed, there's a lot it can replicate. The one thing it absolutely is incapable of is experiencing things.
Mm-hmm.
AI cannot experience. Only we as human beings can do that. So leverage your experiences. Leverage all of your stories that are going to be relevant to the topic that you want to teach your readers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
So
Absolutely.
Anthony had a question about if you feed it your scraps and it puts something together. What are your thoughts? And then he said, well, you're answering it now. We are answering. Yes. No, I
Absolutely.
like that. This is the first time I've heard something like that in terms of the voice recording.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
that I like that. And that keeps it unique, that keeps it your own. And yes, that's a very key point about AI not being able to experience things. So there's
Facts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on one moment. We got Miss Arlise, who is another one of our podcast cousins who I met in January, and I had her on the show. Oh gosh, I think the beginning of the month. So she says, hello, all, just joined, but came at a good time to hear this information about AI. Wow. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you for being here. She's down in South Florida. All right. About that wallet, don't forget to like. Come on, y'all better come on here. Yes. Anthony, yeah. Thank you. Please, y'all like the live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, please, and share. Tag a friend. Tell them they need to be on here. All right.
Facts.
So
Yeah. So
that
talk about
this
the
is
framework.
golden. Yeah, this is golden right here. So foundation, topic and genre, ideal reader, purpose, title. Did I miss anything?
No, so far that's good.
Okay.
So what I was getting to with the AI is to use it as your thought partner and your researcher.
Okay.
That's what the AI is good for. That
Okay.
way you're not having to spend a bunch of extra time Googling statistics on your target reader, Googling statistics on the New York Times best-selling books in your topic and genre. You can have the AI tool do that for you.
Okay.
So here's an example of a prompt that you guys can use. And guys, I'm not gatekeeping. I didn't come up with this. I learned this from Alicia Little, who
Okay.
she teaches authors how to leverage AI to write their books as well.
She does. All right. I hope y'all taking notes. I hope y'all are taking notes. All right, hold on. Before you say it, Kiana wants to know, can you repeat the 5, please?
So I haven't even gotten to the 5 pillars yet.
Right.
But just this foundation step, it's your topic and genre. Your topic and genre, that's the first 2. Your ideal reader, you want to create your ideal reader avatar. Like create yourself a character who is your reader avatar. Mine, y'all, is Vanessa. She is mid 40s, a wife and a mom,
Mhm.
and she has a 9 to 5 and a side hustle. Like has her own business,
Okay.
and she's middle class. She's not, struggling financially. She's middle class though, so she's like barely breaking even.
Mhm.
And the thing that is keeping her up at night is the instability of the economy. And she wants to find revenue options that she can create, like passive income streams that she
Okay.
can create. And a book is the latest one that she wants to do. So now this is why she's coming to me. And she has experiences that she can put into books to leverage her experience and possibly become a speaker, because that's another way to earn revenue.
Right.
So that's my avatar. Vanessa is my avatar. She is a
Okay.
Floridian.
Okay.
I'm a specifically. She has a college education,
Okay.
and you know what I mean? Like that is her story. So I write for her. I write in her language
Gotcha.
using the mannerisms that a 40-something would understand. She's a millennial, right?
Okay.
So that is the importance of crafting your ideal reader avatar, because then you're talking to one person in your marketing, not a bunch of people. Everyone wants to feel like you're talking to them individually.
Right.
So coming up with that reader avatar is what's going to do that. So
Okay.
topic,
Yep.
genre,
Mhm.
ideal reader. What do you want your book to do? That's your book's purpose
Uh-huh.
and your book's title.
Title. Okay. She said, got it. Thanks a million.
No problem. No problem. So let me go into now the 5 pillars. That was just
Go ahead. Somebody's
good.
trying to call me. Go ahead. We good.
Yes. Shout out to Anthony for keeping notes in the chat.
Okay. You know, I love it. I
Appreciate you.
love it. I love it.
So now here are the 5 pillars. Book blueprint.
Okay.
That's pillar number 1, your book blueprint. So this is where you've come up with the title and you've used AI to research a title that would be attractive to your ideal reader based on the research, right? Book blueprint. So you have your title. Now in the blueprint, you're going to brainstorm, and I use what's called a word web. Other people call it a mind map. I dubbed it a word web. I'm a linguist, y'all, so give me the alliteration. It's easier to remember, right? But you're mind mapping the topic of your book or the ideas that you want to include in the book.
Okay.
This is just your way of free writing. You're coming up with all of the things related to the main topic of your book. Some people do it as a web where you're writing the main thesis in the middle, whatever that main topic is. I'll use mine. Healing through writing. So that would be mine in the middle.
Okay.
And then I write related ideas around it. So
Got it.
Coming up with, ways to tools, like writing tools to help you heal. The reason why a book would be important, the different revenue options that are available through your book.
Okay.
The different ways you can transform people's lives through a book. Why a book is important for others to keep, like why a book can be permanent. These are just ideas around the main thing.
Right.
So you start there. Those are your primary ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Then you spread further out and find connected ideas to those. So one of the examples I mentioned was revenue options, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my author activation event last year, the author intensive I did last year, we had a guy who is a publisher, and he named 12 different ways to monetize your book, like 12 other ways to repurpose your book. You can put your book on audio. You can turn your book into a course. You can become a speaker. You can turn your book into a podcast specifically, like a limited series podcast.
Right.
You can turn your book into merch. You can create quotables or different social media posts from your book.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many different ways that you can do this.
Yeah.
You would write all of that around the revenue sources for your book bubble, right?
Okay.
Those are your secondary ideas.
Yeah.
And then just keep spreading from there.
Yeah.
Some people you do it like with that web form. Some people do it in vertical columns.
Right.
Different people are wired differently, so their minds work differently.
For sure.
So they might have the revenue thing at the top of one column and then write all the ideas underneath it. And then the next main idea, put all the ideas underneath it, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But the point is you're brainstorming all of the ideas that are going to be around that main idea.
Right.
So then you have the meat of what you're going to talk about in your book.
Okay.
And then from there, once you mind map everything, you cluster the ideas together in coherent sections. That's going to become your outline now. Like now that you see all the ideas in front of you, you form those clusters of thoughts. Then you create sections, then chapters in your book for your outline. And while you have artistic license as a writer, you're a good place to start if you're brand spanking new and have no idea how many chapters to have in your book, how many sections, whatever. The starting rule of thumb, if you want to use it, is 5 sections, 3 chapters each. That's a good place to start. You don't have to adhere to that, but at least it's a number that you can go off of.
Okay.
And then you can deviate from that if you wish.
Okay.
So that's book building, book blueprint, excuse me. Pillar number 2 is book building.
Okay.
Pillar number 2 is book building. That's the actual writing of the book or the voice recording of the book. That's
Okay.
you creating the content that goes in the pages.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And with the voice recording, the beauty of the thing is most software, most writing processors have accessibility functions now for people who are maybe paraplegic and can't use their hands. They
Mhm.
can use their voices, and the software dictates what they say.
Mhm.
So you can use Google Docs, which is what I always invite my attendees to use
Okay.
because it has a little microphone. If you go under tools, you'll see the little voice function. The
Mhm.
microphone pops up on the top left. Click the microphone, play your voice recording. It'll populate the page. Your words will populate the page.
Gotcha.
Microsoft Word has the same thing. Theirs, you don't even have to click a menu. In Microsoft Word, you see the microphone in the top right corner on the toolbar. You'll see it on the top right corner.
Okay.
Click that. Pick, I think dictate is the name of that option because it gives you like two options.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Okay.
It'll populate the page.
Gotcha.
It saves a ton of time. So that's book building.
Book
Pillar
building.
number 3, the polishing and presenting pillar.
Okay.
That has to do with editing, all the things you need to do to make your book presentable to the world. So editing, interior design, cover design, your book's trim size, meaning like the size you want your book to be,
Okay.
and the kind of cover you want your book to have. So do you want it to be paperback like this?
Mhm.
Is it something slim? Is it spiral bound? Is it hardcover? Is it something like this? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like you get to decide how your book looks. Hardcover like this. It's up to you. That's the polishing and presenting pillar. Like your book's appearance, like getting it cleaned up and getting it pretty and ready.
Yes.
That's that part.
Love
Pillar
it.
number 4 is the messaging pillar.
Okay.
And you can use this acronym, which I call MAP, M-A-P, marketing, advertising, and press.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody said we in a master class tonight.
Amen. Always want to over deliver. So
Okay.
that's the 4th pillar,
All right.
the messaging pillar. And then the final pillar is launch. It's the
Mm,
launch pillar. So
love it.
this is when you're making that push to put your book out into the world. Because one of the things I wrapped up my episode with earlier tonight when I was talking about the 5 shifts that are needed to become an author.
Mhm.
The 5th one was be prepared to repeat yourself. Like be prepared to talk about yourself, your book, and your transformation
Mm,
many times.
mm.
If you're going to launch the book, if you're going to market it, you don't be afraid to toot your own horn. Did you
Yes.
miss 4 and 5?
Yes.
No, you
You missed 3
mentioned
and
5.
4. You missed 3 and 4, Anthony. Polishing
Yeah.
and presenting, and 4 was messaging. It's okay.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
watch the replay.
Shout out to Anthony for being so
Right.
studious though.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, this is good. This is good stuff. So, we have one other person that joined us, Miss
Mhm.
Kesey, I think. Hold on, I missed her. Miss Doris, we did see her, but I think Kesey joined us. Hey, Kesey. Yes, here she is. All right. So, let's talk a little bit more about this power of healing through writing.
Yes.
Because I think that I know for me, I'm going to talk about myself. Um, journaling has been highly recommended by my counselor, but it has to be something really horrific for me to like sit down and write about it, you know? And the encouragement has been like, you don't have to write a book when you're journaling. Just, it could be a picture that you associate with whatever happened, whatever that experience is, or what have you. And so, anyway, it can be a challenge. All right. So yes, let me pause. I see Anthony said he's leaving. Thank you, Anthony, for being our scribe this evening. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later. All right. So I just yeah. So I but it is healing for me to be able to go back in those moments that are maybe challenging for me to see where I was in that moment and how it'll take me back there and just how I overcame it, you know? Yeah.
For
So we
sure.
we got some really great comments. So let me pause real quick. Miss Doris said my book came from journaling. Okay, nice. Letitia, this is great. I needed this. Wonderful. We appreciate that. Arlie, she said, I just wrote a devotional journal, AI assisted. I thought I was ready to publish, but now I feel I need to go back and regroup with these pillars. Okay, wonderful.
Hey, yeah.
Good,
You
good,
can always we can always use some more refinement with our books. And hey, yeah, shout out to you. AI assisted, like that's the way to go now. And even
good.
for my author activation weekend, a lot of it, like we worked out these AI prompts, and these guys were able to use that and save time
Yeah,
with their stuff, especially with the research part. So hit
absolutely.
me up if you need any pointers with that. By the way, so
Nice.
I'm happy to help.
Yes, we'll share Melissa T's information in just a little bit. Donda just joined us in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here, Miss Donda. And Miss Deanna just joined us in Tallahassee. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who are just joining us, I'm on with Miss Melissa Thomas, also known as Melissa T. We're talking about the power of healing through writing. We've talked about her author activation weekend, which just happened, what, last weekend?
Yep. This past weekend. Yep.
Yes, last weekend we talked about her F5 framework. So she gave us the whole foundational piece, the 5 pillars. And now we're diving into the power of healing through writing. So I was talking about journaling, but why do you think, writing is so healing for people?
Absolutely. So there is science behind this. Um, the science says that we cannot even make decisions without the emotional part of our brain. And the
Mm,
beauty with journaling or writing is that you employ both sides of your brain, because the one side of the brain deals with creativity, emotional stuff, like the right side. That's the creative stuff, the emotional stuff, like that's how that's going. While the left side is memory recall and logic and, like system by system thinking, that's the decision making, that kind of thing. When you're writing, you're doing both. So
mhm,
when you're journaling, you're writing in the journal your experiences, your memories, that kind of thing. You're employing both sides of your brain. So it keeps your brain stimulated, it keeps your mind sharp, and it's cathartic. Perfect example of this, I came back from the author activation weekend on Monday. We it was a long drive from Tennessee. It was like 9.5 hours.
mm,
And as you've likely noticed in any experience that you've had, that's like a major high, either emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever. We'll
mm,
have a major high and then we'll immediately crash
mm.
after that. Like once the thing is over and once we no longer need to be on high alert, we just come right down. And that's what happened with me. And I felt it. And I'm somebody who, I'm not ashamed to say it, like for most of my life, I've always been a crier because I'm a very sensitive person. And I felt that starting to happen when I got home, like back with the family. We're done with the, high activity of unpacking the van and putting everything away and stowing everything where they're supposed to go. And now I'm finally back in my room. It is just me and my thoughts, me and my music, and everything is crashing emotionally. The
Mm,
first thing I was gonna do was cry. And the Lord reminded me, like, well, your journal's on your desk. Like, feel free to write it out. And that's exactly what I did. Like I put a song on repeat that I know I could like zone out into like white noise and
mm.
just started writing. Filled up like 3.5 pages.
Wow.
That that it was cathartic. It
Yeah.
it helped me tap into the right brain, the creative part, the emotional part, the memories.
I love that.
which then gave space to the left side, which is the logic and sequencing and like step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Gives clarity. We always traverse the emotional stuff first before we ever get to the logic and the clarity and the decision making, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I lean so heavily on healing through writing.
Yeah.
You know, women who've navigated a trauma or transition, we have to handle the emotional stuff connected to the trauma or transition first
Mm-hmm.
before we can get into the mechanics, the systems, the logic of writing.
That's good. Really, really good. Didn't know the the scientific aspect of it, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. We got Dr. Nasheed Matt Ewan has just joined us, and he said journaling allows you to scream in a safe space. I
100%.
absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that, Nasheed. I appreciate that. Brother Derek has just joined us. Salutations, family. Dr. Katie Story. She said she'll watch the replay. Wonderful. And Master Key, tell the people, everybody, like this video, please. Thank you. Yes, like it, like it, like it. Give it a thumbs up. So, no, that's really great. So I'm gonna, I have my journal with me. I'm gonna be committed to writing while I'm away. I'm gonna
For
do it.
sure.
I'm
For
gonna
sure.
I'm gonna do it. I carry it with me. It's just ugh.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. While writing is the more advantageous way to do it because it also involves motor function, like it involves the physical act of you writing. So
Yes.
that also employs the left side of your brain.
Mhm.
Here's the cheat code, you can voice record. So
Yeah.
like Doris, who said her book came from journaling, like
Mhm.
there are some people I've interviewed on my pod who had voice recordings or journal entries and just compiled them
Mm.
to create their books.
Yeah.
I had one lady who teaches people how to grieve from a place of joy. And
Oh.
how she did it was through her social media posts. She compiled all of her posts on Facebook that
Mm.
had to do with forgiveness and
Wow.
different ways to extract joy from the process. That was the catalyst for her first book. That was the content for her first book. But the cheat code is to voice record. So even if you're busy or you don't feel like writing physically,
Mhm.
maybe it's too long of a process, maybe the thoughts take too long to form when you're trying to write, just voice record it. We talk faster than we type or write
Right.
because we're communicators. We're wired to communicate.
For sure.
And Lupita Nyong'o, who recently started to communicate her journey with fibroids, she
Mm.
recently said on an interview with Sarah Jakes Roberts, she was on Sarah's podcast.
Mhm.
She said, "We heal through stories. We
Mm.
heal through hearing them, and we heal through telling them," which is absolutely
Woo.
true. And that is why I do what I do,
My
because
goodness.
I understand that telling stories heals us. Telling our stories heals us because it helps us to understand that we are not alone. But we also heal through hearing other people's stories because then we relate. We're like, "Oh, it's not just me." Like when we tell our stories, we understand that we're not alone because someone's willing to hear us. But when we hear other people's stories, we know that we're not alone because we're not the only one going through the thing that we've been through. Someone else has gone through it already or is going through it right now.
My
They're
Lord.
just experiencing it slightly differently based on their, personal experiences, their cultural experiences, based on wherever they are in the world. You know what I mean? And Lupita's been hearing from people all over the world, women all over the world who've
Mhm.
struggled with fibroids. I had no idea baby girl was struggling with that. I had that same journey back in 2024, had to have a major surgery.
Mhm.
I get it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, sharing is caring. Absolutely. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is.
But
And
you said a few things that go beyond some of the thoughts and the things that I typically share about stories. because I often say how stories compel us, but really, I think you have so eloquently said it here that we heal through stories, through telling them and sharing them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Arlie said, I'm a blogger. I've been blogging about my spiritual journey for years and was thinking about turning those into a book. You got to
Do
do it.
it.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
But
Right. Yes. And Sonya B just joined us in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here, Sonya. So, all right. The power of healing through writing. So I hope y'all are getting this. That um it's not just the you getting it out, but it's the you writing it, you speaking it, the healing through telling the story or hearing the story. And when you're telling it, you're hearing it. So that's happening simultaneously. Right.
that part.
Oh my goodness. This is so good. So,
Mhm.
so good. So tell me about this book. Pain to Prose Playbook, Right Through the Pain, Reclaim Your Voice, and Become the Author of Your Own Healing, which hasn't been released yet, but we're looking at a summer release.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
talk about, I mean, it feels like we've already talked about it, but talk about kind of the inspiration behind this title of this book that you are about to release.
Absolutely. So what's gonna be in it is everything that is um absolutely writing helps emptying the emotions. Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey,
And thank you, Sonia, with the title. I appreciate the love on the title. Um, yeah, and that title is exactly what I was talking about with the market research and using the AI to assist you in that way. I
mhm.
used AI to assist me with that title.
Oh,
I let the AI tool know what my topic was,
mhm.
healing through writing,
Right.
who my target audience is, women who've navigated a trauma or transition,
Mhm.
and then what my goal was, what my purpose for the book is, which is helping these women harness the power of their stories into a book that's going to help others achieve freedom
Yeah.
in their own way.
Mhm.
The AI tool came up with that. So I asked the AI tool to give me 5 titles and 5 subtitles. And the
Okay.
reason you ask the tool to do this is that you can look at the ideas it gives you and then mix and match as you see fit.
Right.
You know what I mean? That gives you the creative control. That way you're not pulling verbatim the whole thing
Mhm.
from the AI tool.
Gotcha.
But in terms of what's in the book, you guys have heard a good chunk of it here, what I've discussed about the author activation weekend and what they experienced there.
Mhm.
The importance of revisiting the trauma without reliving it. So I'll be sharing in the book ways to do that, healthy ways to do that,
Nice.
ways to use writing as a form of therapy, even if you can't afford an actual counselor, because for
Mm.
some people, therapy's a lift financially.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I provide tools in the book that you can use today. And
Like,
there's actually an episode on my podcast where I talk about that.
okay.
Um, Ways that you can give yourself therapy without necessarily going to see a therapist.
Okay.
Um, I cover the entire F5 framework in detail. And then at the front of the book, this is front heavy for it. But that's because anytime you're dealing with transformation, you have to do this, which
Mhm.
is mindset work.
Mm.
Like there are certain things you have to embrace in terms of your mindset
Mhm.
before you can become an author. You have to develop the mindset of an author before you can become one.
Okay.
And today's episode of my podcast was that, like, it's the 5 mindset shifts that you need to
Mm.
become an author.
Love it. Love
I
it. Love it.
appreciate you, Sonia. Follow me. We'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah, yeah, we will. We about to jump on in now. Look, Sonia's ready, okay?
I love it.
I need my book. I need to pre-order my copy right now.
Yeah. So
All right.
that's what readers can expect though from
Okay,
that book. Yeah.
nice. No, it sounds like it's gonna be a great one, and we're gonna have you come back on once you release it to really, take a little bit of a deeper dive because I think it's gonna be really beneficial to, you know, to the readers. So yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness, Dr. K just joined us. Dr. Kendra Mitchell. She's over the writing lab at FAMU, Florida A&M University. So thank you for being here, Dr. K. Uh, AJ said, I truly needed this. I must watch the replay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, AJ. We appreciate you. All right. Well, it is. Oh, Miss Doris said, great conversation. Thank you, Miss Doris. So, y'all, we have come to the end of the conversation. I know the time flies right on by, but I want to give you, Mellissa T, an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell the people how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. So my YouTube channel is the Getting the Win Show. So at Getting the Win on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, and Threads at Getting the Win Show. And you can find me on LinkedIn at Mellissa Thomas. That's Mellissa with 2 L's and 2 S's. Yeah. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or, to stay tuned for news about the book, follow me in those places and DM me anything that you like to know. And in terms of the announcement for the pre-order for the book, like just watch this space. You know what I mean? Subscribe on YouTube, follow me on those platforms. I'll start to drip that promotional material to let you guys know when that's going to come out.
That's right. It's part of the map. Okay.
Yes.
Pillar
yes.
4. Pillar
yes.
4. All right. And if you didn't hear what that was, you need to watch the replay. That's all.
Replay.
That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. So, for those of you who may be new to this platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We're here live Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused primarily on mental health and wellness, especially in Black and Brown communities. This has been a great conversation, the power of healing through writing. So let's keep this conversation going. Please share this with somebody that you think will benefit from it, somebody that is an aspiring writer, somebody that needs healing, that they can use writing as a tool for that has been shared by many on this live tonight. So I'm so glad that you took some time to be with us, Mellissa T, this evening. I really, really am. And yes, we got several comments. If you all benefited from this conversation, let us know. Let us know in the comments. I see Master Keisha said, my book will be out. Thanks for this confirmation and these tips to help me get out of my head. Yes. Love it. You're welcome, Kiana. All right, Tiffany, good evening. Sorry I missed it. It's all right. You can catch the replay, girl, and put your comments in the chat when you do, okay? Dr. K, congratulations. Yes, thank you, Dr. K. Sonia B, girl, I have heard enough to know that I would love that guidance. Spirit has been gently nudging me to write more. Following now. Oh, love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, Master Keisha said, thank you both. Much love and abundance to all. Thank you, Kiana. Alethea, me too, Tiffany. Will watch the replay. Yes. Thank y'all both. And Letitia, definitely beneficial information to apply. Love it. Yes. And she said, the afros are giving. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Arlie said, I am now a fan. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. Listen, we out here trying to give the people the things that they need, right? Podcasting. So thank you. We appreciate the views, the likes. It helps us do the work that we do. So all the best to you, Mellissa T.
Thank you.
And cannot wait to get my hands on this book. So please keep us posted.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll get another date on the calendar to have you back on to talk in more detail, okay?
Yes, I appreciate you, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. All right. And thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.